Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tekk Amaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience. Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tekk Amaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience.
Peace, peace, peace. 1 2 1 2. Check me out right here, yo.
Yeah.
We back, baby.
Yeah, we're back like a chiropractor.
Sandy Alan.
Yeah. Back like I forgot something.
Nobody know with that Junior.
Yeah, man. What's up, Tekk?
You don't understand me. You don't understand me.
Peace, everybody. Great as what was that guy? You remember that guy, Black Authority? You remember that dude?
No.
Oh man, his show was crazy. He used to say, "Welcome from around the world to the," and it was like something. It was a great show, dude. You could find it on YouTube. But he used to always say, "Welcome from around the world." So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Notary Insight Show. I am your humble hip hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo, joined by Mr. Automation himself, Mr. Notary Google Ads himself. Today's going to be a special show. Welcome, Tekk Amaku, ladies and gentlemen. You heard?
Splash.
Hey, Tekk, how the family doing today, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Happy to have us all back together. Wife was on a world tour, so she's back in town.
Like this.
Circle it. And then, matter of fact, I got somebody else coming from my. He's not my biological brother, but I consider my brother. He's coming. He was in town for another one of his friends had a funeral service, so he's back. He's coming from across the pond. He's coming from, Europe, and he lives here now. Yeah, but he's born and raised in Oakland. It's my brother. He's gonna come out here, and on his way back, he's gonna come visit. The young bodyguard who's biting on my headphone string right now.
Kimba's in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Let it go.
So today we have an amazing show because we have been getting requests. Thank you, everybody, for sending the messages on what you would like us to discuss on the show. So this one came out of where was that location, Tekk?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Today we're going to be talking about Google Ads. I don't think we ever covered Google Ads really in any of our shows. Tekk, what do you say?
No, because Google Ads is massive. Mm-hmm. It's a simple concept. You must advertise. It's that simple. And yet nobody talks about this, which I would argue is the number one topic. And it's funny because I was reading a comment on TikTok, and this person had responded to another video where this so-called notary guru extraordinaire was giving out all these tips. And the comment read, "How do you get clients?" And there was about 30 or 40 comments, and her comment was at the very top. It was plain and simple. How do you get? I might even try to pull it up. How do you get clients? And guess how many people responded to her?
How many?
0.
Was it good game though?
It was a bunch of tips about having like a QR scanner card for reviews. It was just stuff about after you get the appointment. But
okay.
I just want to emphasize that out of all the people, because you see social media posts, people always reply to other people's comments. That's half the fun. But no one responded to hers, and I always thought that was very peculiar. Why didn't anybody respond to her? So I responded, and I said, everybody just ignored you. And then she responded back, and she said, are you going to ignore me too? And I said, no, I'm not. The number one way to get clients is Google Ads. You want to learn more? I got a whole channel all about it. And then she responded and said, well, how can I get you to look at my account? How can I get you to look at my Google Ad account? And I said, we have a show every Wednesday on YouTube, Notary Insights, where we talk specifically about that. So hopefully
so before we get into the show, man, because I definitely have some questions about Google Ads, and that a lot of people also may have about that. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, like and share this video, because this is going to be one of the videos that like can really change your business. Same day action. You know what I mean? Like you can roll these things out like immediately and start seeing results immediately. That's why the show does well. That's why the show does well, because we give you real fast action tips where you could just go out right there, like during the show, and start rolling these things out.
I love it.
So let me ask you this, Tekk. Like, why do you feel Google Ads is so important for notaries?
Google Ads is so important for notaries, amongst many other things. I would say because the notary industry is such a unique industry, and what I mean by that is the person who's looking for a notary, they behave in a manner that's instant. It's same day, it's automatic.
That's right.
It's not like, if you think about it, when was the last time you bought a big screen television?
Years ago.
Years ago, and then you probably didn't buy it on a fluke. You probably did some research into it. You probably shopped around, maybe even negotiated the price, maybe talked to your friends, got some recommendations. And even then, you probably didn't even come to a conclusion, to a decision. You probably waited, maybe Black Friday roll around. You think I'm going to just do it around.
That's exactly what we did, bro.
Yeah, see, the pattern behavior for certain things, car shopping, you're going to buy a new couch, you're going to get a new stroller, big screen television, you're going to buy a new cell phone. The buying patterns for those specific items and those products, it's now think about if you were doing some renovations on your house. You're going to do some pool installations or get a new hot tub or something. You act differently. But when it comes to it, like, you're probably going to get several different estimates, going to call around, read reviews. When we talk about notary, it's not like that. Notary is when you need a notary, like you always say, there's some pressure behind it, man. And you need that yesterday. You don't need it tomorrow or next week. Those do happen. Those are, I wouldn't consider those to be the exceptions or the outliers, but overwhelmingly, for the most part, about 68-70% of people need same day appointments. And Google Ads is so important to that because you capture that person right in that buying, like they're ready to buy right now. I'm going to go online. I'm going to search in a specific keyword. Likely it's going to be notary near me, or notary that travels, or notary near my house, or notary in your specific city. It's going to be some combination of those keywords. And then they're going to click enter something. Whatever pops up first, they're probably, psychology shows us this. They may not click the first one, or they may click the second or third, but likelihood they're going to click at something that's at the top. And if you're at the top, you have a 35 to 50% chance of, and 35 to 50% is really high.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You have
Yeah, you could do some serious damage with 35%, dude.
Bro, that's not a small number.
Yeah, that's not a small number at all.
If you have a 35 to 50% increased chance over everyone else to get a client, that's what, by being at the top or having your keywords so locked in, and you capture that person who's in that moment of, I'm like, I got a credit card, now I got a cash in my hand, I'm ready to purchase right now. That's the behavior of somebody who's looking for a notary, and Google Ads does a spectacular job. It's Google. Google is like the #1 company in the world, one of them. But this is what they do. Not SEO. It's not search engine optimization.
They are the search engine.
Yeah. And they want to reward the people who use their service, and they use it, within their rules and things like that. So I think notaries who don't take advantages of Google Ads, and I'm saying I don't see very many people who talk about it, and they're really missing out. They're really missing out on an opportunity. It does cost. It does involve you being active and monitoring the performance, and it does require some work, but it's 100% worth it because the returns are in the hundreds. The percents of the ROI is in the hundreds, especially if you charge appropriately.
Yeah, so I have about a few questions from people that were asking about Google Ads and would it work for their notary business, and we'll kind of cover those on there. Again, if you guys have any questions or topics you would like us to cover, send your request to info@tigertoledo.com. That's info@tigertoledo.com. I read all the emails and stuff, fan mail and all that. So we definitely want to help you guys out the best way we can. So Tekk, the first one, well, you just answered the question, the first one, which is, does Google Ads work for notaries? And the answer was yes. So the second one is,
yes.
So the second one is, how much should I spend on Google Ads as a notary?
The first question is, how much should I spend on Google Ads as a notary? I would say as much as you can reasonably spend, and considering your pricing is going to, your number one, put it this way. Let me start by saying this. Whatever you put in, you're going to get it right back. The minimum you have to spend is $5.
Okay.
So $5 a day. Now, $5 a day times 30 is $150. If you charge $150 for one appointment, or let's say you charge $75 for one appointment, can you get 2 appointments in a month?
That's all it would take, huh?
That's all it would take to break even. Can you get 3 appointments in a month? If you get 3 appointments in a month and you charge $75, so that's $225. So you've profited it $75 because you pay for your ad spend, which is $150, and then everything beyond that is just all profit. So $5 a day is the minimum. Here's what I would recommend. I would recommend you start with $5 a day. That's $150 a month. And then about 3 years ago, we did a study. We did our own internal study where we compared a monthly ad budget of $150 for 2 months, so 60 days, $250 for 60 days, and then we doubled that to $500 for 60 days, and then we compared the results. What is the performance? You were really excited. You remember that. $250, and the difference between how much more growth would you experience by each of those price points? $150, $250, and then $500 a month. So and the outcome was as you expected. It was almost a threefold increase. So in other words, if I spend $500 a month, the likelihood that I would return on average 3 times that was about 40%. So if I spend $500 and then I had a 40% chance of getting $1,500, which is $1,000 profit. Now I spend, I'm going to show this later on. I'm going to show you how much I used to spend. Matter of fact, let me just show it now. I'll show you now. Can I share my screen?
Yeah,
Of course
yeah, go
I
ahead,
can.
bro.
I'm going to share my screen now. This is my Google ad account right now. This is January 2025. I spent $1,500 in ad spend. $1,500, or $1,570. And then if we, this is the example of a highly optimized account, and then it goes down to $1,200. Then it goes down to $915. Then it goes back up a little bit in the summer, right as the summer goes, and then $1,000, June 1,000, and then most recently it's right back down to 960. This is a highly optimized campaign where the ad spend doesn't jump and it doesn't fall and it doesn't go up and doesn't fall. That's because you're controlling your keywords, controlling your search results, and then you also have an automated answering service that responds to every time somebody clicks on your ad. So it's a full ecosystem that generates the lead, it closes the call or secures the appointment, and then we go out and execute the appointment.
I'm glad you mentioned keyword because that was the next question. The next question is, what keyword should I target?
Good question. Good question. There are a few keywords. There are 3 keywords that Google, again, specifically for Notary Public, there are 3 traveling Notary Public at that. 3 keywords that work really well. Notary near me is number 1. That's the most expensive keyword. You're going to pay for that keyword. Surprise. Whatever you do near me, that's what you're going to pay for. Now, the question is, should you bid on an expensive keyword like pool installation near me, car tinting, window tinting near me, right? Roofing replacement near me. Should you bid on those keywords? What would you say, knowing that it's expensive? What would your opinion be on that, Tiger? Just your thoughts.
One more time.
If a keyword is expensive and you know it's the number 1 keyword, and it's expensive because it's the number 1 keyword, so you just say notary near me, or if you were like cell phones near me, laundromats near me, window tinting near me.
So would I go after that keyword? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So my thought process would be, I'm somewhat going to go after that, but I'm also going to explore other options around that. So I'm gonna do a hybrid, basically, because if there's a lot of people using that keyword, I know it's in very, very high demand. So of course Google is going to leverage that with the bids and say, all right, whoever has the most money. But that's advertising, right? Whoever has the most money to put into advertising wins.
Correct.
So, but I am going to look for equivalent keywords that can, possibly compete with that, but is flying low key. So I don't. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. So I mean, it sounds like your answer is yes. You would bid on the keyword, but you would.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's an expensive keyword, and that is so. There's only 3. It's notary near me, which is very expensive. All right, because everyone's searching for it, like you just said. That means that there's traction for it. All right. There's mobile notary near me. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That slight variation matters because you can do an exact keyword match. You can search for the phrase, right? Or you can do a combination of both, where you kind of do like a broad match. So you got the exact match, you got the phrase match, and you got the broad match. If somebody types in notary near me in Chicago versus notary near me in Cook County, right? There's a difference. There's and if you want to appear for people who only search for notary near me in Chicago, that could get very expensive. So notary near me in your city, and mobile notary near me. Those are going to be your top 3 searches for your keywords.
Yeah, and then also running like you said, running it locally versus nationally is a huge difference in price and how much you're going to pay. So I would, especially with notary near me, I would even isolate it. I would try to even isolate it even more. Like, so here in Chicago, I would isolate an area like Calumet City, right? And I would have it radiate that area because I was getting a large volume of calls from that area. So I wanted to really slam that home. So I would isolate that area more than saying notary near me in the entire Illinois.
Yeah,
because
that's
now I'm
money.
spreading my ad dollars too thin.
Yeah,
What do
you're
you say
wasting
about
money.
that?
Yeah, you're gonna throw some money down the toilet if you do that. Because you're not. Yeah, you're just gonna get. Now, here's the thing. There's a way to think about this. That's a great point. If you just did notary near me, you just threw the net, cast the net to the entire state. Here's when I would recommend you do that. In the very beginning of your ad campaign. For research purposes, for data gathering purposes, but that's not a long-term strategy.
Yeah, definitely. You want to know which markets are smoking hot, right? It's like you're basically looking for these little heat maps, and you realize that, hey, the north side of Chicago is I'm getting way more phone calls on the north side of Chicago than west side of Chicago, right? So now you can kind of isolate that area and put more of your advertising dollars into that pocket to generate more calls. Yeah, I hope y'all getting this, y'all. This Tekk is like really, really, really specialized in the Google ads. So here's the next question, Tekk.
All right.
Next question is, can I run ads only in my area? I think you kind of answered that, but just in case.
Now let's go deep on that, because if the answer is no, you can run ads wherever. You can run ads in Kazakhstan if you want to. Would it make sense? Would it make sense to look for a local notary in South America? No, it wouldn't make sense. But you could do it because that's what Google does. Now, let's be realistic. Here's what I would answer to that question is, I would run ads in an area where either you can control, either like you could physically access that area, or you could outsource somebody to that area. Now, I can go even deeper than that, because just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a notary insight, if you will, the way you broke it down, Tiger, is actually correct, because if you just ran notary in Chicago versus notary in Calumet City, those are 2 different places technically, right? Now, let me ask you this. Do they have 2 different zip codes?
What do you mean 2 different zip codes?
Does Calumet City have its own zip code?
No, yeah, it has its own zip code, yes.
All right. So then you could really hyper-target that area.
Oh, absolutely. You could put that little red pin on the map, bro, and it's like boom, and it only radiates. It's a suburb, so it only radiates, maybe a few miles out, and you can isolate that zip code for sure.
So here's how something like that will look. Because I do that. There's an area in Oakland that's really expensive. It's called Piedmont. It's not Oakland, but it technically is Oakland. Okay. It's technically it's in Oakland, but it has its own city name. But the zip code is, you can hyper target that zip code, and that's the way you do it. See, when you're setting up your Google ad campaign, here's how I would do the Calumet City. This is how I would use it. I would set it up so that anybody, and you can do this too. I mean, this is how we help people who help notaries who want to use this specific technique. You can, if the person is physically in that zip code at the time that they type in the keyword notary near me. So this is how powerful Google is. This is why you need to leverage Google's automation and AI technology. If you are physically in the city of Calumet City, and then you type in notary near me, versus you are in Calumet City and you type in notary near Calumet City, then I can isolate that search to first. Let's just say you were in my Chicago geography is going off. I know there's a city in, let's just say Hyde Park, right? And then you type in, you were physically in Hyde Park, and then you wanted somebody to send a notary to a notary in Calumet City. Now, there's a ranking there. For the person who's specifically in Calumet City versus the person who's in Hyde Park, and then they're searching the exact same search terms. Now, how are you going to show up now? I want to show for people who are physically in Calumet City versus people who may be in another part of the state, another part of the city, and then they just looking for and then they just type in that keyword. So you could actually bid to rank higher for people who are actually in that location versus I'm just searching for it remotely or in another location. That's really high level right there. But I just gave you some insight as to just how this is how e-commerce works, right? This is how people, really large companies, it always feels like, damn, this ad is like right for me. Like, why are this pizza company, they're like advertising like that, they're right down the street. That's how they're able to do that, because they know that you are physically in that location at the time that you search for that keyword.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you have to be that detailed? No, absolutely not. You don't have to be that detailed. You can actually, Notary is so in demand, Tiger. You don't even have to be that. Listen, half the notaries don't even advertise, right? So,
dude, they don't even answer their phone. Even if they advertise and they don't answer their phone, the lead comes back to you if you're there, right? So
the stuff we're talking about right now, like, it's really high level. We're talking about how the hell you take over the city.
Yeah.
Like how you shut it all down. I'm eating everybody's lunch.
Cosme X92 said, "Can you audit my ads account, Tekk? Book an appointment with Sabrina." Let me put up that website, that QR code. I'm gonna put up the QR code so you can scan that. It's gonna pop up right there. Bing bong. Scan that QR code right there, and you'll be able to book and request a demo of Sabrina, but we'll also take a look at your ads account and see, what you're doing and what you're not doing.
Yeah, and I'll give you a little bit of a taste. Give you a little bit of a taste about what you can and can't do. You'd be surprised. People stay away from it, but I highly recommend you try to tackle it. If you don't do it, then have somebody else try to tackle it for you, because you can easily take over your backyard. Especially if you live like in a major city, or no, if you don't live in a major city, you should especially be running numbers. My God.
Yeah.
My God.
Here's the next question, Tekk. Do I need a website to run Google Ads?
No, you don't. But why would you? How would you expect people to? I mean, put it this way: you're putting money, you're investing money into Google Ads. Go get a website. Actually, create the ecosystem that allows Google Ads to function the way it was intended to function. But the answer is no. You don't really need a website. I would recommend get a website, man. So no, I'm changing my answer. You need a website. Stop it. Enough. Enough of the shenanigans. Get a website so that you can actually get the most, because you're gonna flush money down the toilet.
So I know like some people they're like, hey, I'll just get a landing page, and what do you think about Google Ads funneling people to a landing page?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. A landing page works very similar to a website. They're not the same thing, though. Would you agree?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, how do I avoid wasting money on Google Ads, bro? Because that's the thing, right? Google will, run up that credit card like a high maintenance NBA chick that's ready to marry and divorce you in 3 weeks. Google is that chick. She has no problem melting that credit card and asking for another one.
No doubt. Google, they're going to bill you. Don't
high maintenance, baby.
Woo! Yeah, in the moment you stop paying, what's going to happen?
She out. On to the next one. On to the next one.
Got a million ways to get it.
Oh, you thought it was just you?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was just me, baby.
Block off of that. Yo, don't play with Google Ads, man, if you ain't ready to, put out some money. But you don't need a big budget, right, Tekk? Because you said that $5 a day can really do it. So that's $25 a week. Come on, y'all. Like some of y'all do that with 2 caramel macchiatos venti at Starbucks. That's 25 right there off on your drink. I ain't saying get rid of your drink. I'm not one of them dudes that say get rid of your drink. But you can downsize that drink. You can downsize that drink and get, and put some of that money towards your advertising. So $25 a week, what is that? $100 a month. That's a man, bro. Like one appointment can take care of that.
Is that worth it to you?
Oh, but hands down. Versus getting what? An assignment from a loan signing assignment from one of these agencies that's going to pay me $60 and have me print out 300 pieces of paper, scan backs, multiple correspondence and emails and phone calls, and then FedEx runs. What? Sign me up for Google Ads any day, bro. Any day.
How much is a ream of paper?
Dude, I don't know and I don't care because I'm not buying it. I'm not buying no ream of paper.
When was the last time you bought a ream of paper?
Years ago.
It's been years.
Years, bro. I'm not.
Wow.
Listen, I made the decision that I am not doing loan signings, period. I did it 2 or 3 times just to walk in the shoes of a loan signing agent. I hated it. As a what was that, Marlon Wayans, and they're like hated it. Yeah, I was that dude. And I couldn't stand it. And the amount of correspondence that went, like the back and forth with the emails. Oh, I'm still waiting for documents, and I charged a decent amount, Tekk. I charged like $200, but I've seen people out here getting it for doing it for $60, $65, $80 and stuff. And I'm actually seeing the numbers go down. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah, I still get the alerts.
But the numbers are actually going down, how much money they're actually paying notaries nowadays, these title and escrow companies. It's not the $150, $200 anymore. It's the, $65, $60.
Yeah, I see the rules are going up too. Like I saw one that popped up through my alert, and it's been for 3 days. This is how serious. 3 days in a row, I've gotten the same alert, and it went from $100 to $125 to $140, And then it comes with these stipulations that it must be scanned in within 6 hours. You must have it back to our office. So, and again, like you always say, they're holding on to your bread, right? If you don't meet that requirement, you don't meet that criteria, you don't, do an excellent job and then have it returned within 6 hours. Now they have grounds to withhold your check. So I have seen it go up to 140. I did one went up to 140, but it comes with this oh, by the way.
Right. What if you was the first one to snatch it up though?
Okay, then it's $100.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So how does a person avoid wasting money on Google Ads, Tekk?
Good question. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it. Number 1, track your results. Damn it, track your results. Google optimization checklist.
Okay. Run that, baby.
Weekly, monthly, and then I would recommend every 3 months. So track to see how much money you're spending. Track to see what changes you make to your campaign. What headlines actually resulted in the most feedback. I would track to see what search terms or keywords are popping up. And then over time, you can optimize the account. That's the reason why. That's the reason why I can go from. That's the reason why I can go from January, where I'm spending $1,500, then I go all the way down to this most recent month, which is September, and I'm only spending $960. So that's a $600 difference. And if you look at, this is the number that we pay attention to, the average cost per click, or CPC, average cost per click. $1.03 is unheard of. Last month in August, it was only 84 cents. I'm going to issue and the month before that was 96 cents. The month before that was 97. The month before that was $1. I'll issue a challenge, and I'll be bold about it. Show me somebody who's getting a better cost per click than that. We'll wait.
Shots fired, bro. Shots fired.
I'm gonna issue you a challenge worldwide. Show me somebody who's getting a better cost per click than that. 84 cents. Show me. And
I'll back them on that one, because I back Tekk on this one, because I know there are agencies out there reaching out to Tekk himself to run ads so they could turn around and sell you guys the ads.
That's what's going on behind the scenes.
They don't see that part, Tekk. We just opened a closed door meeting on that one. Let me explain that to you in slow motion. There are companies out there that sell ads for notaries. They have an agency, advertising agency. They reach out to notaries.
Digital marketing agency. Yeah.
Right. Digital marketing agencies for them to do their Google ads for them. Those same agencies are reaching out to Tekk to commission him to tweak their ads so they can turn around and sell ads to the notaries again.
Wow. That's behind the scenes. Yeah.
You don't see how this game gets stepped on, y'all. This is business, man. This is warfare. Some people really look at this thing as warfare. And they will step and tap dance and Gregory Hines your money as many times as they possibly can. They will Sammy Davis Jr. your shit.
You might have to explain what that means.
That means they will charge you a high dollar. Let's just say $5,000 to run ads. They'll pay Tekk $4,000 of that or $3,000 of it, and then they'll take the $2,000 all for themselves, and they didn't do anything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they're stepping on it. Yeah. I see.
They're it is ruined. It is tar. them clean white satins has nothing but mud stains on it. It's not pure. We're giving you that pure stuff over here. You heard? Giving you that pure stuff.
That tune, nobody know with that tune.
All right.
But there's another part I want to add to that. So tracking. No, you're right. So why does that even matter? You might be asking yourself, why does a cost per click, like that may look like Chinese to you, like you don't know what that means. Here's what I mean by that. A good cost per click is around $4, $5. That's damn good. Around $4. That's pretty damn good. Because think about it. How much do you charge for an affidavit? How much do you charge for power of attorney? How much do you charge for loan closing? You pay $4 to acquire a client, and then they come back and pay you $160. So you got $150, $156, $154 profits, give or take. So a $4 cost per click is really, really good. That's profitable.
Bro, Bobby could do the math on that one and know that is good. Radio could do the math on that one and be like, man, that is great numbers right there. You know what I mean? Come on, y'all. Like there shouldn't be no question about that. So Cosme said, nah, in LA, said, nah, you need big budget in LA. I don't know if it's Louisiana or you're talking about LA. It's hyper competitive, but you know, Tekk is out there in Cali too, so it's highly competitive out there. And what would you say your ad budget is, Tekk, when you first started? $5
a day, $150 a month.
Okay, and then as your business became customer funded, I like to call it, your advertising became customer funded. Customer funded means that you're no longer coming out of your personal pocket to fund your advertising. You're putting a certain portion or percentage of each notarization towards your advertising. So now you're free and clear.
Yes.
Your customers are paying for your advertising at that point. Even if you have to bump it up an extra $10, you get paid $100 and okay, run a quick scenario. You get paid $120 per notarization. That's your average. You're putting $5 towards advertising. So $150 a month, right? Or $100 a month if you're doing it 5 days a week.
Okay.
You take one assignment and put that towards your notarization. You have the rest of the month. That you have the entire rest of the month. Who knows how many assignments you could do from that point, right? You already bumped up your advertising dollars by $20 just by doing one assignment.
Yes.
Add another assignment to it. If you did 30 assignments a month, dude, there's no way you're paying for advertising at that point.
What are we talking? Like, Tiger, you might have to slow it down for some people.
I know, man. I don't feel like it though. Fuck it, man. Get on the train. Get on the train, B. Hey, so, Jesse.
You don't need. What's up, Jesse? I will caution you from saying that you need to have a big budget because, like Tiger, the scenario you just broke it down. You don't need a big budget. All you need, can you get one appointment? That's the question. And so you're speaking to the competitive nature of Los Angeles. It's hyper competitive, so you need a big budget. No, we're showing you to actually do the opposite. How targeted are your keywords? Are you tracking what people are clicking on through your optimization checklist? Are you just throwing money down the toilet because you're using keywords that, like, for example, I'm going to pull up my ad campaign right here. So somebody searched Notary Public Library. Are you paying for that keyword? If you go to the library, I hope you do. But if you don't go to the library, then I hope you're not paying for it. But you might actually be paying for that keyword. So you got to go through. And then how about this one? You live in Los Angeles, right? I imagine there's a lot of Spanish speakers there. Are you paying for the keyword notorio publico? You might be paying for that keyword. So you gotta optimize your account by using the checklist and tracking the results. So yeah, you don't need a big.
So as you're answering the second part of that question, right? How do I avoid wasting money? Negative keywords.
Negative keywords is actually my secret weapon. Yep.
Negative keywords will save you a lot. Man, bro, I remember I was getting so many Notorial Republic or Notary Republic.
They're misspelled.
I was paying for that.
These dumbasses, these dumb people who can't spell, they don't even know what they're looking for.
As you mentioned earlier, you got to monitor the hell out of this thing, because I think I did some type of campaign, some new campaign that it was a smart campaign that they were rolling out. And then Google decided to throw free notary service in my damn keywords, bro. I'm like, what?
Yep.
Free? Where? How?
See, Google, they'll do that because they say, like, wow, people are searching. How about we give this to you? Google is so intelligent, but they're not perfect. You gotta watch them. You gotta watch them. They're Google's really, really good, and they've gotten better over the years. We've seen it, Tiger. We've seen how they've definitely advanced, but it's not perfect, is it?
Cosme X92 had a great question. Do you turn off ads on the weekends?
Good question. Let me answer this question before I answer that question, Cosme. Because Tiger, you talked about keywords. Let me show you guys something. Here's how you listen. This is going to save you. This if you do what I'm getting ready to show you right now, and you've watched this will save you. This just do what the hell I'm getting ready to show you. This will actually be probably the best advice for Google Ads that you're going to find on YouTube right now. And I guarantee nobody's ever showed you this right now. Negative keywords. Go to your admin on the left side. Click on admin on the gear wheel. Scroll down to right in the middle where it says negative keywords. Right here. I have 573 negative keywords. What does that mean? That means when these words get searched, I do not want to appear for those words. That means my account is highly optimized. I'll throw in another one for free. Put your competitor's name into the negative keywords.
What? Okay, tell me about that.
And I love the analogy that you use, and I borrowed this from you. If I'm looking for a Casio watch, that means I'm not looking for a Rolex.
So you're saying if I put UPS as a negative keyword, I'm not going to pop up when somebody's looking for a UPS.
Correct.
Okay. That's a bar. That is a bar.
Monster kill.
Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, if somebody's searching for UPS store, I might want to catch some of that overflow. I might want to be on the tail end, on the coattail of that UPS store. But what did we say, Tiger? Is that your contemporary? Are people who are searching for UPS, is that the same person that you necessarily want to be searching for as well? Not at all. Somebody was looking and they type in specific UPS store, the highly likelihood that you don't want that person.
Nah, that's sharp, bro. That's real sharp.
So
I never even thought of that.
See, but didn't we say that at the top of the show? You can implement some of these things like right now.
Yeah, right now.
Give yourself a raise right now.
I wonder how much advertising dollars I actually threw with just because I did not remove UPS store from my keywords, bro.
Bro, I wait.
Wow.
It made me sick, man.
Oh.
But then it made me think, because you dropped that bar, you were talking about the difference between Walmart and Target.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what's the person who shops at Walmart? What are they looking for? The person who shops at Target, what are they looking for? Well, let me reverse that. What are the person looking for notary? What are they not looking for? So let me throw that into negative keywords. And now and Google will show you what you are appearing for, and you don't want to appear for all these. I don't want to appear for no Spanish speaking, right? I love Spanish speaking. Estás listo? Que ciudad vives tú? Like I got the Spanish down, but I don't want to appear for Spanish speakers because even though I can service them, I don't want to pay for that. This all comes down to how much money you're throwing out the window.
So, Tekk, before we go into Cosme X92's question, let's take a quick commercial break.
As a business owner, you're juggling a lot, and managing phone calls can quickly become overwhelming. That's where Sabrina, the AI voice automation that turns calls into clients, comes in. Imagine having a reliable 24/7 assistant that never misses a call, handles routine questions, schedules appointments, and directs important calls to the right people, all without needing a human touch. This frees up your team's time to focus on what really matters, saves you money, and ensures every customer gets a consistent, professional experience. It's like having an extra set of hands so you can focus on growing your business, not just managing calls. Scan the QR code to book your free demo today.
All right, we back. All right, cool. Let's go into the question. So the question was, do you turn off your ads on the weekend?
Yeah, good question. No, I don't, because people still need notary on the weekend. And here's my thought process behind that. Because we're talking a little bit of strategy now. Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, that's what's considered business hours. You agree? Saturday and Sunday are not business hours, but the majority of people are typically free on the weekends. So most people naturally will go out and handle business on the weekends. Here's what people also have on the weekends. They have more time. They have more time to do research and to kick tires and to drive from here to drive to there, running errands. I'm going to go drop off the dry cleaning. I'm going to go to Target to pick up some paper towels. And then I'm going to go get some groceries. And then I'm going to stop by a UPS store. They got more. See, like Tiger said, I decided early I don't want to do loan closings. I decided early I want the customer who wants a notary right now. I don't want the person who's lollygagging and driving around in the minivan and they got all this stuff to do. I want the person who says, listen, when can you get here? So I don't turn off my ads on the weekends because I know that people are still trying to get business done. But here's what I do. I turn down the time. And this is not an emotional decision. This is based upon numbers, based upon actual data. So I'll go for the whole entire year. So I'll just do it for this month. How about that? Or last month. So last month, Saturday had the lowest amount of clicks. Sunday had the second lowest amount of clicks. So I have data that supports that Monday is 164 clicks. Thursday is the most active date. Wednesday is before that, and then it just goes down. And Saturday and Sunday are the days where the fewest amount of people are clicking on my ads. So what does that mean? That means that you're making a data-driven decision to either continue. Now, can you make a case to stop advertising on Saturday and Sunday? You could. You could justify it, and it wouldn't be by emotion. You could actually say, well, the numbers doesn't actually make sense to run ads. Or you could just select if you really get hyper specific with the Google ad account, you can just say, I'm gonna allocate less money on Saturday and Sunday. I'm also gonna adjust the time period, meaning instead of going from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I'm just gonna go from 10 o'clock to 3 p.m. And then you're gonna really concentrate or really push the amount of resources to that specific time. But no, I do not turn off the ads on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I used to what I would do is, like you said, reallocate the funds. So I would run it 7 days a week, and then I said, you know what, on Sundays, and this was from experience, that it was much harder to find a notary for that same day on a Sunday to run the assignment. So I said, you know what, let me slow it down on Sundays, and then I eventually cut it off on Sundays and reallocated those funds on the busier days. So it was like a Wednesday and a Thursday or something. But you take those funds, and then, like Tekk said, you reallocate it throughout the rest of the week. That does work for you.
Yeah, see, that makes sense. If you're dedicating $100 a month for ads, don't, instead of spreading it evenly across. Now, in the beginning, you just doing research, you just gathering intel. You might want to spread it evenly from every day because you never know. You might get surprised, right? You might be surprised that shit, Sunday might be your busiest day. Who knows? It's possible. But then as soon as you start gathering some research and enough data, your account has built up enough information, then you start making those data-driven decisions. Let me turn off Sunday. Let me pump or redirect that money towards Wednesday when most people are actually looking for notaries.
Yeah.
Good questions. Good questions.
Next question is, hold on here, Tekk, pulling it up. Okay, so can I pause my ad if I get too busy?
Yeah, that's a good question. You can always pause the ad. The reason why you would want to pause your ad is because it's not performing well. Pausing your ad because you're too busy doesn't make sense. Or because you have Sabrina that is going to respond automatically, there's no reason to pause the ad. That means it's always running 24/7. You never know when somebody needs a notary. I know the client that I'm going after. When can you get here? That's the question that's in their head. What time can I get a notary here? My wife told me to book this notary and get this form signed 2 weeks ago. My lawyer called me and said I needed to have this document notarized a month ago. Why did I wait so long? Shit, let me just call a notary. When can, and it might be 11 o'clock. They go to bed thinking about this. And then they wake up at 6 a.m. and then they say, the first thing in the morning, I'm going to look for a notary. So you don't want to pause the ad because of the wrong reason. But you can absolutely, the only reason I would pause the ad is because it's not performing well. It's underperforming.
And again, that's a great point too, that we have to emphasize on. We did a show last week about it, about how people are actually putting money into advertising dollars, but they're not answering their phones. So you're basically just giving Google money, like,
ooh,
with no reason of getting any of that money back. You're just like, hey, just take my money, please. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, because when you run your ads and you start getting these influx of phone calls and you do get busy like that, you should have something in place to capture those phone calls. Listen, your clients do not want to go to voicemail limbo. They don't. They're not going to leave a message.
No. Why? No. What are you going to do?
You'll be lucky. Well, think about it. They would be lucky if a client took the time out to leave a message. For every client that leaves a message, there's like 9 others that won't.
Yes, that's a good point.
They're just going to go down that list.
Next.
somehow you better engage with them, because that, again, that's your advertising dollars that is being flushed down the toilet because you're unavailable to answer that phone. You guys have that problem? Scan that QR code right there, request a complimentary demo, and we will show you how Sabrina can recapture all of that potential client sales for you. And you don't, it's not going to require any more time from you. It's 2025, y'all.
Yeah, people are uncomfortable admitting that. I mean, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable admitting that you're wasting money, but the reality is that you are wasting money. And what's the easiest way to make more money? Stop losing it first. That's the easy. You can give yourself a raise. You can go out and get another job. You can increase your income, but the easiest way to make more money is to stop losing it first. Just cut it off. Plug the holes. And this is the easiest way you can plug the holes, because people are calling you and then you don't answer, or they go to voicemail. They're definitely not calling you back. Try sending them a text messages. They've already moved on. They probably found someone already. Yeah. I've been guilty of it.
So 2 more questions, Tekk, and then we're pretty much done for the day. Cosme says, do you run your ads always on a time frame, or do you have them always running? Like, I guess
good question.
24 hours a day.
24/7. Again, that's a good question, because it's related to the earlier question about how do you avoid wasting money. 24/7, always 100%. What will Google do to your credit card, Tiger?
Melt it. Charge it. Woo. She high maintenance, I'm telling you. She has no chill, no breaks with your credit. The only time she hits brakes is when your card starts getting declined. It says, look, man, we can't go with her no more, man. She going too hard in the paint. Let's chill. We're exhausted over here.
That card is on fire.
Yo, she's getting all the red bottom shoes. She's getting everything. She's remodeling the Silicon Valley office, bro, on your card. No chill.
Yeah, Google is burning that bad boy. That thing is smoking, boy. Man, Google got that new office there. Google got some new office chairs in that bad boy.
I'm telling you.
Let that car run 24/7. And yeah, Google's gonna say
thank you.
keep it coming. So don't run your car 24/7. All right. We just kind of making fun, but here's the reality. Yeah, have a set amount of time. We talked about the business hours. All right. Now, I'm gonna ask you a question. What's a reasonable amount of time? What's a reasonable time that you should be answering your phone? And I hesitate to use the word should, but what's a reasonable time that I can expect you to be answering your phone? If you can answer that question and you say like 10 o'clock, 2:30, that's when you should be running your ads. If you can answer your phone at 11 p.m., go for it, right? Now, Sabrina's going to do the preliminary answering. They're going to do the pre-check, so to speak. They're going to actually service the client, and in the event that the client needs to talk to you, and then they dial 0 to be transferred to the home office. And
right, pre-qualification, absolutely.
Yes, but again, if you're not going to reasonably answer your phone at 11:30 because you're at the club, don't run the ads during that time.
You know, I look at ads when I'm running ads. I look at it as a game, Tekk. I literally look at it as a game. I say to myself, man, how much money can I offset to put towards better days? So if I'm starting the video game, I'm playing it for 7 days, and I get so far. How can I and this is the game that I play with myself, how can I cut my gaming time to 5 days and get equal or better results? And then how can I cut that 5 day into a 3 day so I could take that extra funding, right? Because I removed 2 days from a funding, and now I'm putting it into those 5 days. Now I cut the 5 days into 3 days. Now I have even more money to put towards the remaining 3 days.
I hope that makes sense, y'all.
Woo,
Yeah,
and then I run it, bro. I run it so hard that there's no way I could lose. At this point, it's like it becomes a probability situation. All right, I know I'm gonna get 30 calls on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I'm gonna get 30 calls each. That's 90 phone calls for just 3 days.
Yeah, instead of 7 days.
Yeah, instead of doing it on 7 days.
Now you have free time.
Oh my gosh, bro. And then I run it really, really hard.
Let me try to contextualize what you just said, because that was game right there. So I run ads from 10 o'clock to 3 p.m. I used to run it from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I never ran it from 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. I never did that, because it's not an emotional decision. It's actually a data-driven response to what I'm seeing in real time. So you go into your ad account, and then you go from 10 o'clock or 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. 5 hours. That means I'm hyper concentrating when my ads, and I'm reallocating all of the funds to hyper producing during that time period, Monday through Friday. And then on Saturday, Sunday, I actually loosen it up. It's instead, it goes from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So I actually lose an hour, or I lose 2 hours from Saturday to Sunday. And I don't want to, and again, when you are monitoring your ad account and then you're doing your optimization checklist, you're doing all those things that we talked about, you see a pattern. You start to see, when are people clicking on my ad? Are they clicking at 6 a.m. in the morning, or am I getting clicks at 11:30 in the morning, 1:30 in the afternoon? So now you know, and it should make sense. This is when people are doing business. Who is the customer that you're going after? Are you going after the person who just wants to spill over from the UPS store, or are you going after the law firm that has a client that only sends that has clients that they get off work at 6 p.m. but they book appointments during business hours? Or are you going after the family that's at the ICU and they only want to, or you never know when an emergency is going to happen. You never know. Like, who are you going after? See, me, I'm going after the person who knows that they needed it like in the next 30 minutes. Like, they're going to pay the same day. They're going to get the appointment same day. Everything's going to be taken care of on that day, and then it'll be done with it. That's the person. That's the customer profile that I'm going after. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to get the other ones, right? Because they always show up. But I'm specifically going after the professional who wants an appointment right now. That's what my business is designed to cater to. That person who wants the appointment. Like, they call me and they're like, listen, they may say, hey, how much does it cost to get a quitclaim deed? But I know in the back of my mind that I'm going to question them as if they want the appointment like right now. It's an emergency. They may not say that over the phone that it's an emergency, but I know that it is an emergency. And that's how I'm able to conduct my phone calls. Where do you live? Who's signing the document? What type of identification do they have? Are the documents prepared and ready to be signed right now? Okay, here's the next step. Go for it. Go book the appointment, pay for it in advance. You'll get a confirmation. You'll get a reminder prior to the notary arriving. Any questions, feel free to give us a call. See, some people talk about, well, I charge $30 for travel, and then it's $15 per signature. And then, see, you start talking too much. And the client don't want to hear all that. They just want to know what time can you get here. And then you start talking too much, and then they start justifying in their mind. It's even worse. This is how you talk to about a business. Sabrina don't do that. Sabrina sticks to the point. Book the damn client. Book the client.
So this goes into our last question, Tekk. Question is, how do I measure the success of my Google ads, man?
Oh, that's probably one of the hardest questions, and I'm glad you saved it for last. I can't answer that for you. Here's what I can say: don't measure it by the income that you receive. That's dangerous.
Okay, well, all right. Explain why.
It's misleading. That's why.
Okay.
Here's how I would well, number one, your pricing is going to reflect what you are able to recover. I charge $206 for a power of attorney. I charge $286 for a power of attorney in a medical facility. I charge for a single signature document $117.09. I charge $136.86 for a single signature document that's across the bridge. For estate planning, I charge $309.87. Right, I might get an influx of estate planning documents. All right, here's how I would measure whether or not my Google ads are successful. Are my keywords producing clicks? Are people clicking on my headlines? Is the headline that says, "Do you need a notary now?" All right, that's a very broad, generic headline. People are probably going to click on that. But is it resulting in a low? Again, that might be, you might be producing the impressions. And let me just pull this up. So here's how I would measure that, whether my campaign is successful or not. I look at cost per click. This is how I know that my campaign is successful. And not how much money I make. This is whether or not this cost is either going up or is going down. The cost per click is going to reflect whether or not the amount of impressions relative to the number of clicks. An impression, what is an impression? An impression means that somebody is searching for a specific keyword, and that keyword results in Google showing my ad. So let's say they search for notary, a traveling notary that comes to hospital. And then does that search term, does that produce my ad? And then the click is a result of whether or not when they see my ad, that my headline and then my description compels that person to click on it. All right, and then there's another number that is called the click-through rate, or a CTR. What I want to do is, so for example, if you can see here, this is a headline where it says, "Mobile Notary in Oakland, is your uncle still in the ICU?" That's specific, right? Somebody who got insurance documents may not click on that, but that's not for them. I measure the success because I can look at this headline and then a click-through rate of 1%. Again, just to give some context, because some people give this information, they don't give you no context. Just like the low CPC, the click-through rate, $4, $5 is relatively good. As you can see, this is 96 cents. This is like, this ain't even real. This is like alien shit right here. All right. But a click-through rate, we talk about percentages. Again, these numbers may not mean much to you. Anything about 0.1% or a 1% is really good. 2% is, it may not seem like much to you, but that's actually really good. How about 5%? 5% is even better. Again, 2% is pretty good. We're beating these numbers. This one's paused right here, so this one's not showing. And that was just last month. Let's talk about this month or month before that. This is just, I'm just showing this right now. Not even 8% click-through rate. This is crazy. This is why Tiger was saying earlier that other companies, they call us 11% click-through rate. See, this, I'm giving you guys too much right now, but this right here, it's all good. This ad right here, this "Is your uncle still in the ICU" ad, it has an 11.5% click-through rate. What does that mean? That means that ad speaks specifically to you. Oh, damn, my uncle is in the ICU. My mother still is in the ICU right now. I need a power of attorney right now. If you live near a medical facility, any type of medical center, hospital, trauma center, you should be running a Google ad that speaks directly to the person who's in that facility right this very moment. And I guarantee the click-through rate will be through the roof. That's how you measure success. Again, a good click-through rate is about 1%. Go ahead, Google it, search it. That's the industry standard. 1% is you're doing good. That ad has 11.5%. I'll drop the mic right.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, if you would like us to discuss on, different topics of the notary industry that would help you out, send your topics or comments or just a fan mail to info@tigertoledo.com. That's info@tigertoledo.com. Also, if you would like a banging ass system to work behind the scenes and close deals for you, that is what SabrinaAI does. Request a demo, scan the QR code. She answers the phone, she books the appointments, and she allows you to grow all in one ecosystem. Any last words, Tekk?
Bro, they can't say that we don't know what we're doing. That's all I'm saying. You can't tell us that we don't know what we're doing. I know that there's a lot of notary gurus out there. They don't be showing you stuff, but you need to start. This is the problem when they let anybody talk.
Yeah.
Bro, show us. So we out here, man.
And with that said, peace, love, happiness, and a lot of money. You heard?
As a business owner, you're juggling a lot, and managing phone calls can quickly become overwhelming.
That's where Sabrina, the AI voice automation that turns calls into clients, comes in. Imagine having a reliable 24/7 assistant that never misses a call, handles routine questions, schedules appointments, and directs important calls to the right people, all without needing a human touch.
This frees up your team's time to focus on what really matters, saves you money, and ensures every customer gets a consistent, professional experience. It's like having an extra set of hands, so you can focus on growing your business, not just managing calls.
Scan the QR code to book your free demo today.